Well, here we are today. We're going to talk about our number 2 in a series of 5. We're talking about the economics and how it relates to real estate. And today, part 2 is about the gross domestic product. And I'm going to talk about the GDP. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about unemployment. What I'm really trying to do for people is provide these economic terms and definitions in very simple terms so that you can Google, you can research, and you can find information on your own to get a feeling on how you think the economy is going to react to COVID-19. And yesterday we talked a lot about the different types of recoveries. So you can go back and see that. It's saved on our feed, and I'll be saving these videos. But the one thing I want you to know about yesterday, we talked about the different types of recovery, and I said I would post some, sorry about that, so that you could see things visually instead of just me explaining it to you. So look for those charts a little later today. I got them all done. I haven't posted them yet, but they'll be up soon. And then tomorrow I'll do the same thing for the topic today. So let's get into gross domestic product. So what is GDP? In very simple terms, it's a measurement of the value of an economic activity within a country. So the number kind of expresses the worth and the output of a country based on their local currency. And it's kind of a really deep dive into its calculations. It's a lot of things that they have to look at to come up with this figure. So I'm going to really simplify it because I want you to be able to research these different areas on your own. So basically, it's exports minus imports, and then you add government spending, you add business investment, and then pretty important is consumer spending, and you come up with a GDP percentage. And typically a good percentage is anywhere around 2 to 3%. And unfortunately, I have to report to you that the first quarter results came in a couple weeks ago, and the GDP fell significantly. It's at a minus 4.8%. Now, in regards to real estate and how it impacts the GDP, really the only true read from real estate is construction. So that reflects typically around 3% of the GDP is on construction. That gets added into the GDP calculations. But really, real estate affects many other areas of the economic well-being that aren't measured. You know, housing contribution to the GDP is actually somewhere around 15 to 18%. So I want to kind of explain how that works. So it's through consumer spending. They buy products that are related to home improvements, maintenance, and then it also includes money that they spend on rent and utilities. So it has actually a significant impact on the GDP. That's why the government always is looking to see what they can do to keep real estate healthy. So those are like the 4 areas that you should look at. I'll go over them one more time. It's exports minus imports, it's government spending, business investment, and then consumer spending, which, by the way, is down quite a bit right now. People are obviously being tight with their purse strings. So the other aspect that I wanted to talk about today was unemployment. So that's another figure that we need to follow, and it's not really hard to find because they're talking about it every time they report the weekly totals. So we've had a report over the last 6 weeks since COVID-19 started, and we have hit 30.3 million claims, unemployment claims. And that's about 18.5% of the labor force. So I'm thinking we're probably going to end up with maybe, because I'm sure they'll have another report from last week. That should be out today. It might have already been reported. I just don't have it here. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be about 20% of the workforce literally laid off. But what's interesting about that is 80% of the workforce is still working. And a large majority of those people are working from home. So it's going to be interesting to see how, when we start to go back to work, how much of that dynamic will change as we adapt to use technology. And I think we're going to see some big changes in the way business is operated. But let's talk about that number, that 30 million jobs that have been lost. Basically, if you go back to 2007, and as we had huge unemployment then, we've had this job increase that's been, increasing steadily up until COVID-19, and we recovered 22 million jobs. But now we're at a deficit. So now we're 8 million below our lowest low during the Great Recession back in 2007. So that's a humble pill to swallow, to say the least. Of course, looking at the reads, the highest unemployment claims were the third and fourth week, talking about the last 6 weeks of COVID-19, tapered off on the fifth week, and actually was below 4 million last week with 3.9. But one thing I want you to know in regards to unemployment and real estate sales do not have a direct relationship with each other. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that more later. I have a little distraction in the background. Tomorrow's discussion is going to be about how real estate contributes and impacts the economy. So I'll take a deeper dive on that. So if you didn't get to watch the whole video, it'll be saved and you'll be able to look at it. I definitely want you to post some questions if there's anything I wasn't clear on, and I will answer all those questions. And then tomorrow you can look for some charts and visuals that you can refer to, even save on your desktop or whatever. We'll be posting those on our Facebook feed so that you can get a visual of the things that I'm talking about. So today was part 2. Yesterday was part 1. If you didn't get to see that, you can go back, and I was talking about the different types of recoveries. I think that topic is pretty interesting. So I'll keep it going. I'm going to do 5 of these this week. So we'll hopefully see most of you tomorrow. If not, catch us later on when you jump on Facebook. I'm hoping everybody is safe and well and wishing you a great day. Take care.